Here we go. Boys, how are we? Tank, you're fuming that we're recording the podcast now, mate. Is that right? Because there's a game on.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to Holland-Senegal. I thought that was the game of the day.
Senegal.
Tank's half Senegalese, isn't he?
Fucking not wrong. I like them. I do like them as a team.
So I feel like we've got loads of stuff to talk about here, right? And before we dive into it all, good day in the Rodgers household with Jack making his debut for Burnley under-21s. Tank, you buzzing?
Buzzing, to be fair, yeah. I mean, it's just the old thing with Jack, Jamie. I'm not going to go over it, but, just touch on it where he stopped playing football for 2 years with the COVID and all of that. So he just totally missed 2 years, but he was training with his sister, who's a fitness instructor. He's come back. He got a scholar somehow, but he fully deserved it. He was outstanding. This season started a bit slow. He's been out injured 12 weeks. He's come back the last 3 weeks, and he's just like, he's turning into a man on the pitch. He's been superb. And yeah, he played Saturday, and the coach has said he's travelling with the team on Sunday. So I dropped him off Sunday morning, and yeah, he got, including injury time, I think he got about 18 minutes. So
happy to that, lad.
Yeah. And you were teaching him how to drive. We got a video of you teaching him how to drive. What did you call him? A fucking egg. At one point.
Slow down, you egg.
It's the lucky cars, right? We're in the Tesco car. We got to Burnley a bit. He's just texting actually. We got to Burnley a bit early, so he's going. You know the way the kids go on. He's going on saying, "Just let me have a drive of the car, mate. It's a big car. It's a powerful car. It's electric."
I was going to say it looked like a nice motor as well, but that's yours. It wasn't his.
That's mine. That's mine. It's like the Audi e-tron. You know what I mean? The fast cars as well.
Slow,
so just take
I had
it easy.
a Tesla before. I had a Tesla last year.
The ridiculous electric cars. Well, I swapped this for the Tesla, and like these are like 3.5 seconds, 0 to 60. They're stupid. So I'm like, I was like, go on then. And he's like, take it easy. I can drive. I'm like, you fucking can't. But he's adamant he can drive. And then he got in and he just puts his foot down, and I give it a little whoa. Like, just fucking relax, you egg.
Jim, what's been going on in your life over the last week, mate?
Not a lot, mate. Just same old footy. Archie played Bradford on Sunday, right?
Oh, go on.
And he's under 9, so they play 7-a-side. Bradford don't play with goalies.
What do you mean?
So they have a goalie who's got a bib, but he's just a player, right?
Yeah.
Now they don't.
So whoever's closest to the box just
no. They have a designated goalie who wears a bib,
but not a designated goalie. If you get,
he's not a goalie. So they literally they'll catch the ball in the area, drop it, like roll it to themselves, and take everyone on.
Like old school FIFA or something.
Honestly, drop the ball, roll it, and then take like 8 players on. And it was unbelievable. Like at one point, I think it was in the second quarter, they had a corner and the goalie came all the way short for the corner.
No way.
What is going on?
Hold on, that could actually be quite innovative. That could start being quite innovative.
Mate, it's good. I like it. It's really good. And the players are mint. They've got some amazing players. They don't pass, they just dribble. That's all they want their kids to do is take everyone on. And honestly, they take about 9 people on. But we ended up winning because if the ball breaks at any point, we just got a shot on goal. There's no one in goal. It's just like, right, it was mental.
Who's the keeper that was absolutely class back in the day? Was it Jose Luis Chilavert?
Yeah, he's the one who took all the free kicks and stuff.
Yeah, I tell you what, if Bradford are mad into players that dribble, that sounds perfect for my son.
Oh, mate.
Jesus, we've had hard time trying to get him to pass the ball. Jesus,
mate, they just honestly, I assume what their thought process. If you can get out of tight situations by dribbling at this age, when you're older, you'll be able to pass your way out of it, and you get the best of both worlds. So there's some setup, to be fair. But they've not beaten the mighty Burton Albion, have they? Come on.
Go on, the boys. Go on, the boys. Lads, before we get to the football, I need to speak to you both about something. And you both got the giggles because you know what's coming, right? I leave you two alone for fucking an hour. I remember picking up my phone. I was like, what are these two lads on here? So for those listening that aren't on Twitter, Jimmy and Tank usually are winding each other up, but they joined forces over the last week on Twitter to take down a troll who took particular who took particular don't let us stop you, lad. Who took particular exception to one of Tank's tweets. So maybe Tank, you tell us what the context is and maybe the backstory between maybe Derby County fans not having you on their Christmas card list.
Well, the tweet was the lad, the young lad who plays for Derby, Jake Rooney. I coached Jake when he was under 11 at Tranmere. Great kid, little tiny winger, and I mean tiny. He was a right winger. I mean, you wouldn't believe that when you look at him now. He's like a 6'2" right-sided centre half for Derby. And when Tranmere's academy folded, I was working at Burnley with their 16s, and I was like, you have to get this kid. And there was another lad, a midfielder, Harry. Can't think of his second name now. I went, you've got to go and get these two. But Harry got a 2-year scholar and a pro at Wigan. He was a very good player. And I went, just get Jake Rooney at the club. Don't trial him, just get him in. And they were like, oh, we'll have to bring him in. We'll speak to his mum and dad. So they invited him in and they were like, yeah, we'll give him a trial. And I was like, no, don't trial him because he'll just go to Wigan or, Blackburn or someone. So we come in and they signed him after his first training session. Always been a good player. Got a 2-year scholar. Stupid. Well, I don't understand why they do this 3rd-year scholar over here in this country at the minute. I just don't understand it because I think mentally and like for the lads, it's like you're not a pro, you're a 3rd-year scholar. So you'll have your 2-year scholar and then they give you the 3rd-year one. Now, they're saying it's to do with the loan system. So anyway, cut a long story short, Jake turned it down.
Thanks for that, mate, because I thought you were going into the in-depths of the English academy system. We just want to know about the troll, lad. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but we're getting to that. So anyway, I just said, like, Coach Jake, great to see him playing for Derby, blah, blah, blah. Pity it's a shit club. Like, bit of banter. That's it. Whitby Forest Derby background.
Poke the hornet's nest and all that.
Yeah, just having a little bit of banter. It normally gets a little... So anyway, I forgot about it. I didn't see nothing about it. And then in the morning, I seen a tweet off Jimmy and I thought, what's this strap on about now, Jimmy? And then when I looked and he's got me back. And so...
Defending you, lad.
This fella, I was like reading his tweets and he was like, you were shit. You were a flop. Shit footballer, flop of Forest. And that was like, what? So we'll just give him a little bit back. So then anyway, fucking PC Jimmy gets on the case, doesn't he? And I think you're in bed. Go on, Jimmy.
He was giving us some money. Like, I'm like, mate, like, what you doing? Like, and then he immediately blocked us. But his bio was like Labour. Oh, he blocked me, Labour councillor, PC, special PC or whatever, they are, the special constables. And then I was like, fuck this, I'm not having this. I found him on Facebook, find his wife on Facebook.
Oh,
like,
Jesus
mate,
Christ, lads.
Sent the pictures to Tank going, this bloke giving us loads. And then his mate joined in like 2 days later, but like talking about Tank being in the police. And I was like, mate, I'm pretty sure you've got the wrong end of the stick here, pal. Like, you're fucking miles off it.
Oh, Jesus. No. Steady on there. So the general
Andy
rule
Buckley
of thumb here is
Taylor.
allegedly. The general rule of thumb.
So anyway, my point is,
go on, Jim.
Tank's a cunt, but he's our cunt. So leave him for us. We'll take the piss out of him. Like,
but only us.
If you come for one of us, you come for them all. Yeah,
Jimmy's your bell end. Okay.
Yeah, my bell end.
Right, let's get to the football. And well, actually, I say get to the football, right? It's hard to get to the football because we're obviously now in World Cup season.
Fever.
And I don't know if I was anything like you lads, but sat down wanting to watch the opening game there last night. And look, I think it's been much. It was a shit game, yeah. But it's been much spoken about in terms of the political sphere around hosting the World Cup in Qatar. I found the BBC's approach strange last night in the lead up to the game. You want to get your kids excited about watching the World Cup. There wasn't any of the build up, and I understand that we want to shed a light on the much spoken about issues about hosting a tournament in Qatar, but this should have been done when when they were potentially running for the tournaments. I feel like we basically just got to watch a party political broadcast from the BBC there last night, and I don't know, it just smells a little bit of a hypocrisy, Tank. We're talking about these things whilst pundits are still taking a pay packet, and I get they're saying that this is their chance to talk about these things and put a spotlight on it, but it just all makes me feel a bit uncomfortable. You weren't too impressed, Tank? No.
I thought it was a load of bollocks. I mean, the World Cup comes around every 4 years. Now, they should never have got the World Cup. Everyone knows that. But they got it 12 years ago. So it wasn't as if like all of this shit what everyone's speaking now is going to, the FIFA are going to go, do you know what? We haven't listened to you for 12 years. We're going to cancel it. We're going to cancel the World Cup today, just as it's going to kick off. But I thought the road the BBC went down was a fucking disgrace. I'm sat there thinking, it's football. And no matter what happens, sport kind of brings everyone together, in my opinion. It's kind of something where everyone can sit down, watch a game of football, and, they've put this big show on and no fucker seeing it. All as we see it was the pundits in the studio talking about how disgusting it was, how this, that, and the other. Yeah, they're out there getting paid a fortune, staying in 7-star hotels, eating the best food, lolling on the beaches in the sun, the swimming pool and all that palaver. They're all full of shit. Keep your mouth shut. If you've gone out to work in this tournament, keep your mouth shut and your opinions to yourself. If you think that strongly about it, fucking stay at home and tweet about it, say this is a disgrace, shouldn't be on, blah, blah, blah. And Air's stunned today. Look, I think she's quite a good pundit here. I do. I don't mind her at all. But Air's stunned today was like, fuck off. Putting the armband on. Do yourself a favour. Get in a flight and fuck off home. You've embarrassed yourself. I feel that strongly about it. She's an absolute fucking clown.
So, Jim, before we come to the armband, the armband issue, because that's the next issue Tank just touched on there, I want to come to. What was your response? Because we spoke about this last week, and we've both got young kids, and the excitement of the tournaments. It did feel a weird build-up. In general, it's felt like a weird build-up, hasn't it?
It's felt weird up until the football started. And when I say football, I don't mean Qatar. In fact, I thought Ecuador looked all right, and they got some good players in there, some good Prem players from Brighton as well. So I thought it's been very weird. And I'm 50-50 on this. Like, I'm with Tank where he's saying if you're that strongly against it, don't be there. I get that. That's fine. But from their point of view, like, they have no influence in where this World Cup is chosen to be. Just like no one has. No one's had any influence in that. It was done by FIFA and it's all done by bungs, allegedly. So I'm quite glad that they're trying to use their voice for good, but are they just doing it because they feel that they have to do it? Because it won't change. And the highlight, look, it's been highlighted. Everyone knows about it now. So I think once it's been highlighted, I think we can just knock it on its head and concentrate on the football. So I'm kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place on it, to be honest with you. I get why they're doing it. I get why she done that. I'm not sure if she's gay or not, but
she is, yeah.
She is, yeah. So I can understand why she's wore the armband, but it just sometimes it can just scream a bit too much in your face, and like, are you just doing it just to do it to make a stand out?
Seen to make a stand.
To be seen, yeah.
This is my issue, Jim, and Tank.
I get that.
So when we're talking about the armband thing, the England. Well, there's been a few clubs, teams that were going to do it. I think Holland were going to do it, Wales were going to do it, England were going to do it. Wearing a particular armband. In the tournament. I just thought it was utterly laughable today that the FA have basically backed down to wearing this armband for the threat of Harry Kane getting booked, for example. And the thing that annoys me with this is, if you're going to make a stand, make the bloody stand.
Yeah.
Don't when there's the first bit of pushback, go, well, actually, no. Do you know what? If it's going to cost us a booking, well, yeah,
Question I've got.
Go on.
What rule are they breaking to get booked? Like,
I assume, and people correct me in the comments once you hear this, it might be similar. Remember Robbie Fowler lifted
With
up
the
his
Dockers.
top years ago in support of the Dockers, and he had a message.
Yeah.
I think anything that's the
You can't be
political,
seen to get involved in like a political type.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? I don't know the answer. I just don't. I can understand why they back down, because the last thing you want is Harry Kane to be on a yellow card for 90 minutes. I get that.
When he's going to die,
It's one or the other, isn't it? You make the stand or you don't make the stand. Like, do something.
That's the thing that's bothered me. It's like it's all so then they basically made this big stance. Then when it actually comes to it, it's like, well, actually, no, if it's going to affect us, then we don't want to do it. That would have been the time to do it. Like, I've got huge respect for the Iranian national team, who I don't know if you've seen it today. They didn't sing the national anthem for support of women's rights back in their home country. Now that's being ballsy. Like, because God knows what's going to happen to them when they go out. You know what I mean? That's not a yellow card. That's like they could be putting themselves at risk.
You might get your life taken there. But do you know what, though, lads? Isn't it, it's going too far for me. All of this is going too far. And I don't just mean with the World Cup. In every walk of life, it's because everyone thinks that they get a platform now and you've got to try and do something. Just play the fucking game. Play the game. I want to sit down and just watch the build-up of the football. I genuinely yesterday wanted to know who the Qatari players were, who they played for, what was the bit of the background of each one. Similar with the Ecuador side, and that's what I enjoy with the World Cup. Yeah. And you got 30, 40 minutes of basically a political rant from 4 people in a studio who were getting paid to be there. And I didn't know that she was gay, and for me that makes it even worse. That makes it worse that she isn't. She's over there. Well, if you feel that strongly about their rules, where fucking hell, but then you definitely don't go.
She shouldn't be there
because you want to pick up a big fat check and get exposure. So and listen, it's not just there. I think all of the others. I mean, Shearer was going on and fucking, just like it's outrageous this how they get treated. Just fucking speak about football. You've had 12 years to do this. 12 years, but you're still talking about it. Let the game take its stance now.
Well, that on that point, let's talk about some footy, because obviously today, well, I actually thought, before we move on to the England game today, you were quite vocal on this one. That offside decision that first came about for Qatar, I was like, hold on, what's gone on here? The big brown envelopes have been dished out.
No, it has been confirmed it was a second touch, by the way, not the first ball.
It did look fishy, though, didn't it?
No, it did look. I get that. I always thought it was. It's been confirmed, Tank. He was confirmed. So when the keeper's gone up for the ball, he's missed it and it's hit the guy's head, I think.
Yeah, I get that, but that's not what that's not what they put on the TV with the
VAR. Well, then they've got it wrong, Tank. It was confirmed afterwards that it was the second touch, not the big long ball when he's miles on side.
You don't want to get Tank started with his conspiracy theories. Do you
no, it's shit. I know it's shit, and it was bad, but ultimately the decision was right. But at that time, it looked absolute fishy as. I mean, VAR could have enough to be said about it in the England game. Fucking
fuck me.
We'll come to that now. So England today, right? First things first. I have to call it out. It's a good win. Look, you want to start the tournament well. It's never going to be easy to play against teams that are looking to sit in. You've seen the best teams, best club sides in the world struggle with that, over the years. So first things first, get the points on the board, get the goals, and Tank from an England perspective, all things considered, it's a solid start for them.
I think it's a perfect start, really. I mean, you could complain about the 2 goals, but I mean, to give a penalty for that, I don't even think their penalty. It's not a penalty. It's a little bit of sheer tugging that goes on. But I thought it was a perfect performance, and especially with the impact what the lads on the bench made as well. It was kind of all round. You couldn't have really asked for a better performance in it, and it eased you on. I mean, let's not get carried away. They looked absolutely dreadful. They did look shocking, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and the confidence of the players going forward now, will hopefully, beat the USA on Friday, and that's group stage sealed.
Jim, any surprises for you in the starting lineup?
I mean, the obvious one was Maguire, wasn't it? But we all knew that he'd probably start.
And we all knew he'd cost a goal.
Yeah, well, there is that. I mean, like you say, it's one or the other. But from the team selection, I was really impressed by it, and I must admit, and this was my worry. I said in the WhatsApp group, I was impressed by Harry Maguire. To be fair, his distribution looked good. He was a threat on set pieces, and I think that's why Gareth picked him. To be fair, he knew that the team were going to sit in and we might need a set play to get that first goal. And Maguire was a threat on every single set play. So fair play to him. But as Tank said, I thought we played some great football, and it's always going to be hard until you get that first goal. And you say you're random bad. They're 20th in the world, ranked 20th in the world. So once we go 2-0 up, they've got to come out, and we just knocked that ball around them for fun. And then I was really pleased with how we played, regardless of who we're playing. We played some nice, quick attacking football, and we took the right opportunities to break and push forward, and then we would contain them as well. So I was really pleased with the performance. I think it'll go a long way, and I hope they push on against USA on Friday.
So a couple of things. So the Maguire thing annoyed me. It annoys me in that, like...
You could tell.
I know, yeah. But it annoyed me in that I've got no doubts that he could go in and have a decent tournament. I think Jimmy makes a couple of good points there. I think he looked decent. Certainly a threat from set plays. But I do still think he's an accident waiting to happen. But still, I just think generally it sends out completely the wrong message in that he hasn't played, and when he has, he's been poor. Yet he doesn't only get in the squad, he starts. So if you're somebody like a Ben
White, yeah,
Ben White who's playing
mate.
now, I know he's playing right back for Arsenal, but his position is centre back. And if, like Jimmy said there, if you're wanting somebody to step out with the ball when a team is sitting in, Ben White loves stepping out with the ball. So I just think generally it sends out a completely and utterly backward message to players trying to get into the squad. And Tank, I think when you talk about Harry Maguire, you still think he's going to get shown up at some point during the tournament.
But he got shown up today. Let's not beat about the bush. It was a 6-2. The one piece, the one time he had to defend and stay with a run, he lost the man and he scored the goal. So it's not like as if we're all digging Harry Maguire out. The fact of the matter is he had one defensive lap what cost the goal again. The lad just ghosted him behind off his back. Great ball, great finish. Now, I just think further down the tournament, I mean, so the facts are the facts. He's cost us one goal today. If he's playing against Neymar, that front three, Brazil or Mbappe,
Richarlison.
Oh, here he is.
Well, Richarlison will do loads of blocks when he's trying to play out. But I just think he's got it. I know Jimmy's saying that they're ranked 20th in the world. They're ranked 20th in the world because they play about 40 games a season and they rack up points for wins against shite teams. They are not the 20th best side in the world.
I'm not saying that.
Not even I wouldn't even put them in the top 50, to be honest with you. But you've got to beat what's in front of you. But for me, I'm with you, Jamie. I just think it sends out every single wrong message that he's starting for England in this World Cup. But he is. What you do about it?
The big thing for me now, Jim, I looked at that game and I, same as you, look, I've been quite critical of Southgate in that I just think he sets up teams to not get beat rather than go and try and win a game. I think it might have been because of the opposition today, but I actually thought it was really refreshing to see us play a back four. And you can see, like, Jude Bellingham, lads, we'll come on to him in a minute. Like, I mean, what a player. The shackles were off for him. We were playing a 4-3-3. We had a lot of offensive options going forward. There was more freedom. The changes that come on, I think they all made an impact. Surely, Jim, this is a formation for him to stick with now, or do you think when we play better sides, it'll go back to his true form, which is batten down the hatches, stay solid, and try and hit him on a break?
I mean, USA are no mugs, are they? So it'd be interesting to see what he does. I hope he sticks with what we've done there and just changes it around, because I think, I would start the same team again next game. The only change I would make if he's fit is Mount for Maddison. I thought Mount was probably one of the worst of the attacking lot today. I would have liked to see more from him. So that's what I would change. And I hope he sticks with it. And then against Wales, when we might need a point, then go revert back to that and then see what. But I really like the formation. I really like the personnel that we're in it. I thought the wingers looked really sharp. I thought Saka was unbelievable. If I'm that left back and left centre half, when he's just drifting past you for fun, and that's what I'd love to see from Jack Grealish. I was a little bit disappointed with Grealish up until his goal, because I thought when Rashford came on, he played with that freedom, like, fuck this, I'm going to do whatever I want here and do some mad stuff. And I kind of wanted Grealish to that, but he still seemed to be a little bit laboured. So yeah, but I was really impressed with everyone.
Where are you on Southgate, Tank? Because I'd be of the thinker that he's going to go defensive at some point. But with the offensive players we've got, like Bellingham, I have to say, like Bellingham and Rice, I've been long-term admirers of them both. Declan Rice is a weird one, because I see some people online saying they don't quite get it. I don't know how you can watch Declan Rice and not see how good he is. He can do everything. Jude Bellingham, again, can do everything. And I hate these lazy comparisons that are made. And then I'm about to make a lazy comparison. But when I see Bellingham play, he reminds me of Gerrard, like as in genuinely how Gerrard, when he came on the scene and he grabbed games by the scruff of the neck and he's driving forward, he's aggressive, he's physically imposing. Like, if England have those two at the heart of midfield, surely, just let them go. Let them go play the game.
I don't think he does, though, Jamie. That's the problem. I think he changes formation against the USA. And I think the further we go in the tournament, there's absolutely no chance he'll play a back four. No chance at all. You want the extra protective with the cover with Kyle Walker. As soon as Kyle Walker's fit, I think we go back to a back three.
Yeah.
100%.
I think if they do go to a back three, I'm hoping he plays more as a 3 as opposed to a 5.
It goes a 5, Jimmy. But the issue with that, and you know what, the kid doesn't get talked about enough, and I don't even think that we have on this pod about him, Saka. Because I think if you go to a back 5, he'll be the one that'll miss out, won't he?
He'll miss out, and he's been, he came on against Germany, changed the game. Unbelievable today. If he misses out, that's what I thought Saka was going to miss out to. I thought he was going to go Foden and Sterling. I'd have been fuming. So I'm glad he's got his goals and played.
Tank, in a dressing room, right? Let's say, if you ever had a manager who is a little defensive, a little bored, and I suppose what I'm going to get at here is players know. When let's say, for example, we get further in the tournament, Walker's back, we move to a back 3, back 5, whichever way you want to look at it. Maybe he goes Mount in midfield. You know what I mean? He goes more defensively minded players. Can that take the wind out of players' sails a little bit, in that they're like, oh, fucking hell, we're all excited, we want to just let us go with these teams. Can it have a bit of a negative knock-on effect?
I think it can have a more negative effect on the senior players, because if you're like a Harry Kane and a Sterling, and or say for instance, like the senior lads, and if you take a Saka out of that side, you're like, fucking hell, what kind of message does that send? Because you've got flair, pace, and power with him, and I honestly think that he'll be the one to lose. Wrongly so. I think further down the line, he'll be the one that ends up coming out to the side, because he's not going to take Sterling out the side, because he's not been great this season, but he's the go-to. He has been the go-to guy for quite a while for England, and he always seems to get the goals.
But I don't think you can take him out now, not after that game.
I don't know. Honestly, mate, I don't know. I just think, the further down the line and the must-win games, I think he's not a manager in a must-win game who will go out to win the game. I know that sounds daft. He'll go out to try and ensure that the opposition do not score, and hope that Kane or someone just bags one, to get it over the line. That's the type of manager he is. Where I think this side, this team, this England side, we should just say to our attack and flair players, do you get on with what you're doing, and we'll make sure that we're solid here as much as we can.
If you're looking at teams being solid, and I suppose the two that are kind of tasked with covering a lot of spaces is Rice and Bellingham. Jim, where would you rank Bellingham in terms of talents? Because there's talk now of both players potentially looking to leave their clubs. There's talk of offers in the region of 100 million plus.
Got to be.
Where do you rank these two in terms of their quality, and what I suppose do you think will happen next with them both?
They've both got to move. I think they've both got to move. Where do I rank? I think they're both world class. I do. I genuinely do. And I know it's early doors, but Bellingham, you compare him to Gerrard, but I think Bellingham's got more than Gerrard in his locker as at this age.
There's a fucking shout.
I do, because I think he can do the defensive side. At this age, I'm talking 19-year-old Gerrard, 19-year-old Bellingham, not Gerrard as a finished article. Because he's got more skill than what Stevie G had. So he can glide past players. He's got that. Remember Dembele from Tottenham, the player that everyone said was the best player in the world because he just glides past players. I think Bellingham's got that in him where he can just 1 minute he's there, the next minute he's gone, and he keeps the ball close to his feet, but he also gets back and does the defensive side. So I also feel that about Rice, although he's attacking minded, his attacking play isn't talked about as much as his defensive. I think it was close to the end of the game where it was marauding forward. It'd already been, this is in the late on in the game, and he's still putting them sprints in to push forward. So I think they're both up there. I think you've got to play them every game, other than until if we're through come Wales, I think give them a rest and then save them for the quarters. But you've got to play them every game, and yeah, I think both need to move if they want to do something with their career. You don't want to be Harry Kane, where coming to the end of your career and you're like, I've not won a single thing. Yeah, you're a great player. Don't get me wrong, world class, but trophies at the end of the day is what you'll remember, not the goal you scored against Norwich.
What about you, Tank? Where do you have them both?
I think Declan Rice, he's one of them where as a player and a manager, he is like the greatest player in your squad by a country mile, because he does everything what other players are too lazy to or don't want to do. He'll do the hard yards, he'll intercept, and he'll just pop it and give it, and and just say, right, crack on. And I just think them type of players worth the weight in gold to managers and coaches. I think you only see the actual best of him is when like I watched him with our Jack against Liverpool, and I just said, just watch him, and I was blown away. I've got to be honest with you, I was blown away. His second half performance against Liverpool at Anfield was as good as I've ever seen from an away player. I was like, he basically just like destroyed Liverpool's midfield on his own, and no one could get near him. And Bellingham's he's a freak, isn't he? I mean, he's a physical specimen at this age. That's the other thing as well.
He's so composed. That's the thing I can't get. Like, he's so. There was a couple of times today where, and again, the asterisks of the opposition and all that, but he does the same for Dortmund.
Yeah,
like the house could be burning down around him. And he's there with his pipe and slippers on. Like he's just got it, hasn't he?
He said opposition though, Jake, but them Iranians were flying into tackles, and they only got 2 yellow cards, by the way. How the fuck did that happen?
I'll tell you on him though. Do you know what I think of doing? The world of good, and I hope he doesn't, because I'd love to see him at Liverpool. I think another year at Dortmund does him the world of good, because for your confidence.
He's so young, isn't he?
Is he 19 yet?
Yeah,
I'm sure he's 19.
So he's just turned 19. So he's the captain of Dortmund. And look, when you're the top man and you're the main boy at a club, it doesn't have to give you some confidence. And if he's captain of Dortmund at this age now, he'll play every minute, every week. He'll be in Champions League. And I just think another year at Dortmund, you could have an absolute monster. We could go on again and again. If he goes to a Real Madrid or Man City or wherever he goes to, the spotlight's on him hugely. The spotlight's on him hugely now because he's a talent, but the spotlight will be on him because he's a £130 million player, and he has to deliver from the off straight away, hit the ground running, or else. And I just think another year at Dortmund of development of becoming a man, and when he's 20, he's still only a kid at 20.
Do you know what's mad? We're talking about his age there, like, and I get what you mean, Tank. I just, when you hear him talk as well, he's just so level-headed. Like and you've said, I'm nearly sure you've said this on a past podcast, Tank, from like an early age or something, wasn't he? Like he was skippered at every age group or something. Yeah. So was it you telling me that? Yeah.
He made his debut for Birmingham at 15. He got to get picked up from school and everything, didn't he? So, it's a scary. And his younger brother's meant to be just as good.
His younger brother, yeah. I think he was better.
There was talk he was better, but I don't know how you can say that. It must be some player like, must be, but there's everyone's after his younger brother.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember seeing that Birmingham City had retired his shirt number, and I was like, "What is that load of absolute bollocks?" But you see it in play now, and you're like, "Yeah, maybe they had a point there." Starting to get it. Right, lads. I want to finish on a couple of other bits. World Cup fever and all that, right? What are some of your favourite World Cup moments? So, growing up as a kid, in later life, you can pick them. What was the first World Cup where you were like, oh, God, you really got that World Cup fever? But while you have a think, mine was USA. It was 94, wasn't it? USA 94.
I remember 94.
94. I remember the Brazil team. I think it was Romario and Bebeto with the strikers. I think Ronaldo was there, but he was on the bench, young lad. Yeah, and then I remember watching the World Cup final, and I think Basio missed. I was on holiday in Calador at the time, and I remember watching it. So I was at that age where you were looking at the Brazil players like, they'd come from another planet, like these superstars, the cool adverts, all that type of stuff. That was probably my first one. What was yours? Who wants to go first? Who's got an answer?
My first World Cup. First World Cup, same as yours, 94. I remember the only thing, I remember the Argentina where Maradona comes running up to the camera high as a fucking kite going nuts. Yeah. So I remember
they didn't need the drug test, just look at his eyeballs.
The best one for me was 2014. I think it was Rio, that one. And the only reason was it was the year my son was born. So he was born in June. So I was doing all the night feeds, bought myself a new 3D telly. Like, it was fucking the best time ever, lad. Just night feed with the kids, watching fucking China versus South Korea, like the worst matches you can watch late at night. And it was class.
What about you, Tank?
My first proper memory was I'm older than you two fuckers, aren't I?
How old are you, mate? If you don't mind me asking, are you allowed to say?
46 in January.
You're 46. You're looking well.
You don't look 46.
Look
56.
I knew that was coming.
No, can't wait. How old are you, Jimmy?
36, lad.
Tell you what, I can't wait to see you in 10. You'll be dead.
Oh, my hair will be gone, lad.
Andy Buckley Taylor will be getting you.
He's got a better hairline than me, Andy Buckley Taylor.
Yeah, so Mexico 96, and I don't really remember a great deal. I just remember the wave and all that palaver because I was only 9 then. But for me, and still,
86 or 96.
86, sorry. For me, the greatest World Cup, and lads, you can't even debate it. It was Italia 90.
Yeah.
It's just not even a debate. It was like fucking little Scalacci who no one heard of, fucking scoring bullet headers, and Gazev fucking crying and getting booked, and Lineker.
They were good that England. They were good that England team, yeah.
But do you know what I watched the other week about? Have you seen the documentary on it?
Yeah, it's very good.
It's brilliant, and I didn't realize at the time the fucking stick what Bobby Robson was getting.
Yeah,
they were hounding him out of the job. And
this is the thing they're saying about a lot of the players are saying now about Southgate. And look, I'm not his biggest fan. I think he did change the mentality around England, because a lot of players, for the reasons you just gave there, Tank, it was like the media versus the players over the years. It was like this pressure cooker, whereas Southgate tried to create that connection again between the media and the players, and I think it's worked. I definitely think it feels like more like a club side now. But you remember back, was it Graham Taylor who had that had that film crew with him, and he was basically getting the sack, and the media were hounding him. And by all accounts, Graham Taylor was a great man, and he was treated like shit. It seems mad that that's been allowed to happen over the years, because it's counterproductive. It's not going to help the team.
Have always done that. Do you not remember the old famous picture of Graham the turn up in the fucking?
I do not like that.
You know, stuff like that. And like when you look at the Bobby Robson, he got some of the headlines that were wrote about him were scandalous. And look, it's that's the way the media is. It's more spotlight now, with the social media. But yeah, getting back on subject, for me, Italia 90 was fucking unbelievable. I thought you had some of the best players in the world, and I loved it. Absolutely loved that tournament.
Lads, I was speaking to my father-in-law not long ago, right?
Still speaking
my father-in-law. Eh?
He hates well.
Yeah, of course.
Still talks to you, does he?
Just about.
Isn't he the one with the barbecue, Jimmy? Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. That's him, and he's lived some life, lads. Let me tell you, he's lived some fucking life, and he's
And
not.
now he has to
short
deal with you every week.
And now he has to deal with me, and he's not short of a bob or two. He tells me some stories, and he tells me the same stories 4 or 5 times over, and I could recount them for you. And I was talking to him, I was like, and obviously it was a build up to the World Cup. I went, do you ever fancy, because he's been to like the Ashes in Australia, that was on his bucket list and all this, and I was like, have you ever been to, wouldn't you fancy going to a World Cup? Or
You're trying to angle, just get him to take you to World Cup here.
No, I know, he hasn't got that sort of money anymore.
Always a motive with you.
He's not got that money anymore. But I was like, mate, have you ever been to a World Cup? He was like, yeah, I've been to 2 World Cup finals. I was like, what? He's like, I went to Spain in '82. He said, he's recounting a story. He said, I ended up on the roof of the Bernabeu in '82. Some Spanish policeman whacked me with his fucking truncheon around the head. And it was like, and then he watched that, and then I'm sure he was at Italia '90 as well. He was at World Cup final, semi-finals and finals in Italia '90. I was like, you told me all these shit stories, but you've never
dropped that in.
But you've never ever mentioned you've been to 2 World Cup finals. You fucking cunt.
Fair play, lads. To finish, I'm a Celebrity is on at the moment. All right. And I want to know from both of you, you both watch it, don't you, Tank? You like a bit of I'm a Celebrity, don't you?
Do you know what, mate? I've missed a bit of it because we've had all sickness in the house, and this week I've only seen about 2 episodes this week. Well, last week.
Okay. And Jim, you're into it now?
I catch bit. I've not been into it religiously as I normally have. I just catch that fucking Hancock, mate. Everyone's bumming him. He's doing my head in, lad. He's a fucking bellend.
Yeah, it's a fair point. Well, you don't need to be massive fans of the show to answer this question. You know, they do all the trials and all that. You got the snakes, the spiders, all that stuff. What would be your worst trial to do on I'm a Celebrity? Like, what would be the ones who, because like, I'll be honest here, right? You know, you see all these different type of reality shows. I'd love to be, I'd have been good on a reality TV show. I actually think it'd have been decent entertainment if it was just a normal reality show. But that, I would be a laughing stock. Like, I'd be shit at everything. I don't like spiders. I don't like bugs. I don't like heights. I'm not particularly keen on the dark. And if you threw me in like water and like there was shit underneath me and I didn't know what it was, honestly, mate, I'd be the worst contestant on that show ever. So what about you two? What would you hate? What would you hate to do?
None of them bother me. The spiders, none of that bothers me. Genuinely, the only thing
you could have a spider on your face and you'd be fine.
Yeah, I'm all spiders don't ask me at all at anything at all like
you
that.
Frogs? Frogs for you, isn't it?
Frogs, mate. You put a frog in me and I'm fucking crying in the corner. Put a frog near me and that's it. And you know the thing?
I know what I'm bringing when we go for pints, lads.
A couple of rubber frogs.
Not rubber, lads. I'm getting some out of the pond. Come on.
The thing what does me, and it's a laughing joke in our family when we watch it, because I actually balk watching it. You know them widgety grub things?
Oh, yeah, the big maggot.
You know when you have to bite them? That's it. I'm balking because it's all like that. Yeah, oh, no, I can't. I can balk now. That's the only thing what I couldn't do. I'd have to balk. Frogs and widgety grubs, apart from that, I'd be all right.
What about you, Jim? See,
I could do the eating stuff. I think I could do that fairly easy. Like, I've had some mad stuff in my life. That's not a problem.
You don't feel sick.
You've had humours and Jeremy.
You've never tasted food until you tasted a human kidney, lad. I could do the eating fine, and I'm not the greatest at spiders and stuff.
Sorry, I just got Tank's joke there. Didn't hear the Jeffrey Dahmer bit. That was a good one, that.
So spiders on me, like it's not great, but it's the stuff where you're putting your hands in and you have no idea what's in there. Like that, to me, is the scariest thing, and it could be anything like scorpions, spiders. It's if I can't see it, I'm fucked.
Okay, that's not that. So I'm not alone then. So we'd between us, we'd have our strengths and weaknesses.
I'd be like that poor Burrell the way he's going, screaming like.
Lads, before we wrap up, so last week's episode, we give it the Jimmy give it the come on, get sharing and all that stuff, was our most ever listened to episode for first week downloads and most ever viewers on YouTube. So tip of the hat to us.
Boys,
Good job.
go on, the lads, the Bootcast boys. Don't go without apologising to Joe Lycett, lad.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, I may have jumped the gun there. So for then, do you want to give everyone the context, Jim, of what he did?
Because Tank isn't aware. So Joe Lycett's called out David Beckham because Beckham's an ambassador to Qatar for this World Cup. He's been paid 10 million quid.
Is it 10 million?
10 million, yeah. So Joe Lycett is quite obviously gay, and he's called out Beckham because of the illegality of homosexuality in Qatar, saying you're a gay icon, you did all these gay magazines, and if you care about your gay fans, you wouldn't do it. So for the 10 million you're going to get paid, I'm going to give £1,000 for every million, and if you don't pull out, I'm going to shred the 10 grand. If you do pull out, I'll donate the 10 grand to LGBTQ plus charities. And Beckham obviously hasn't pulled out. And there's a video today of Lycett shredding, allegedly, the 10 grand. And Jamie jumped in up line and sinker, fucking full 2-footed. Cost of living crisis. You fucking...
It's not like me to lose my head. Yeah, no, it's like fucking cost of living crisis, and here's this plump shredding 10 grand. I was like, couldn't you have donated the money? And then about an hour later, Tank video come out. Joe Lycett was like, of course, that was a stunt. That was not real money. I already donated the 10 grand 2 weeks ago when I put this first thing out. And in fact, do you know what? I am going to shred a picture of David Beckham. And so basically, yeah, I owe him an apology. It was expertly done. He got loads of attention, and obviously, was able to make a key donation as well. So my apologies, I got that one massively wrong. Lad. So thanks for reminding me about that. Tank, Jim, what's on for the rest of the week? Anything exciting planned?
Mate, just sitting down, World Cup, chilling.
World Cup fever. Any particular games catching your fancy?
I think that USA Wales would be a big one tonight, mate. Big game, that.
Yeah. And you know who's going to come up and score the winner, don't you?
Bale.
He's going to get his ponytail wrapped up and he's going to whip it in. Fucking Bale.
Yeah,
he's just born for big games, isn't he?
He is, yeah, he is, and it'll be an absolute worldie as well because he doesn't do tap-ins. No. The only thing I would say just before we wrap up, it just annoys me a little bit. Like you're looking at Holland there, and you're usually used to a sea of orange in the stadium, and the Welsh always travel well. It's shit, mate. That's the only thing that's annoying me about this tournament is like it just feels like a little bit like glorified friendlies and manufactured.
It feels like that shitty thingy, Jamie. What's it called? That them fucking stupid games what they have.
Nation League.
It feels like that. There's no atmosphere. Like I thought the England game, it was shit. There's no atmosphere.
Yeah, it's not great.
No, the Iranian fans were giving it some, lad. It's because there's more Iranian fans in England, but it quietened down when they went 2-0 down. But
yeah, you can hear the players and everything. When they were doing the national anthems, you could actually hear the players fucking singing painfully out of tune. But that should be a good one later. Lads, as always, I appreciate your time and the fact that we're getting more people listening, they're enjoying. And I actually do genuinely love that people have a bit of a crack with us on social media. So please keep your comments, feedback coming. If you haven't checked out the YouTube page, with 100 subscribers. Wait, what's Tank up to here? Why is he giggling? What's he saying?
I just laughed. He was laughing.
We enjoyed the crack online. Fucking
YouTube more than most. Yeah, let's not try to get us booted off social media, please.
He's got a podcast as well, by the way.
He has, yeah. He's on the Derby podcast. They'll be slagging us off, the Derby podcast.
Fuck's sake, right. Let's wrap this up before you two get us into trouble.
Let's organise
you know what I wanted to bring up?
Podcast fight.
Oh, there you go.
Derby versus Forest podcast fight.
If he butts one of us, that's it. We're dead.
Oh, geez.
You won't reach you, lad. You're only 5 foot tall.
Do you know what I didn't bring up, and I will do next? I want to get your opinion on Elon Musk, Tank. I feel like your opinion on Elon Musk and the goings on the Twitter would be a topic that would be worth covering. Are you a fan of Elon? You like Elon?
Oh, I love him, mate.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that next week. Right. With that, everybody, thank you for your support as always. As I said, if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, do us a favor, check it out, watch a video. You'll get to see the three of us talk shit instead of just listening to us. Jimmy puts all his makeup on and makes himself.
I haven't got
pretty
any
fit.
on today. I look dead shiny.
I was going to say you got the old shiner thong going on there, lad. But yeah, check us out on YouTube, subscribe. But if you're not into that type of thing, give us a listen and share it to one of your friends. As I said, we really appreciate the support. But most importantly, I hope you all continue to have a fantastic week. Enjoy the World Cup and the football bit. But most importantly, look after yourselves, and we'll be back with you next week on the Boot Room podcast. All the best.
Good.
Boys.